Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and welcome back to Mindustry. Now, I have been looking around my tech tree, and it really seems that the next thing I need to really push things forward is thorium. And I don't know where to find thorium. I consulted the wiki, which directed me to Sector 80. And the wiki's information is either inaccurate or outdated, because that sector did not, in fact, contain any thorium. But another reference has told me that Sector 85, 2 spots north of Frozen Forest, might. So let's head in with all we can carry and see if this stage does in fact contain thorium. Okay. Let's look around. I see scrap. I see thorium. Okay. Alright. So this is the map. If I had to guess, this is probably the landing zone here on the far right side. But I just want to scout it real quick before I start building anything. Okay. So they can spawn here. And only there. Okay. So this is the spawning area. And we're going to have to do what we can to block that. So I do know from reading these things that the pneumatic and mechanical drills cannot mine thorium. The laser drill is the only one that can. So I'm going to need a significant amount of power in order to do this. So first thing I'm really going to need is coal. Okay, we got a lot of coal here. We've got coal, which is near sand and lead. So this is where we are going to take... we're actually going to delete this one and use this labeled schematic. I took the existing design and I added a label to it. So we're going to put that here for pyrite production. And the message actually includes the label, which specifically tells me that lead goes into the top. I don't know why lead goes into the top, but that's what I was told when I got this design. So that's what we're going to do, lead into the top. And we are far enough along into tech that we can afford to just make all of this into titanium conveyor belts, which is really nice. These things are so much quicker. And once that gets built, we'll actually save a new copy of it with the titanium conveyor belts. So the next thing we are going to need is the coal. And run a set of titanium conveyors into the second input. And then the third thing we are going to need is sand. So we're going to put down 4 drills lined up nicely. More titanium conveyors going here. So this is everything we need for pyrite construction. Now, we can't actually do it right now because the pyrite mixers require power. So we are going to set up some more basic power generation here and here. Okay. We can run a router just a little bit to get this all started. Let's put it here and here. And a single line feeding into there. So that should provide enough power to get these things started for the pyrrhotite mixing. So we have pyrrhotite, and the next thing we want is titanium, which we are going to use to make cryofluid. And we're going to need silicone for that. We are extremely low on silicone. So we need... what is it? It's coal and sand. I did save another schematic for that. The easy silicone. And we'll just orient it like this. We need another coal deposit. Okay, here's some nice coal deposits. That should be fine there. And run some of these lines off of there. Is there any way to get more? Yes, I can get 4 lines running in. Okay. So that line goes here, which will output across the junctions. So that is the first input. The second input needs to run into the side. And that one is sand production. So we can have another line of sand production ready. And we just want you to connect to there. So that should work. The first priority is going to be to get the to get the silicone production line running. Okay. We're going to have this go around the scrap and down and around. And my core is actually over there. Okay. So we just cross the water and go into the core. All right. So first things first, don't eat up all that. First thing, we want to get the power facilities up and running. Very good. Okay. Next up, the silicone production. Get the power nodes connected. Very good. Okay. So that's going to be good for silicone production. And then once we got some silicone set, we can go with the cryofluids. Okay. Lead is now a problem. Okay. So here at the core, we want to make sure that we have a belt for lead. It's not the most efficient design, but we got to get some lead into this thing. And we can't upgrade these to titanium conveyor belts until we do. Alright, we're just going to let the resources gather for right now. So they're spawning here. So there are 2 avenues of approach. 3 avenues of approach are down here. And then basically through here or through here. So what I want to do is funnel them through here. So we're going to build a bunch of copper walls just to funnel them. The salvos can run copper ammo. It's not really efficient, but it is at least functional for right now. Let's just get a few drills up. We're not gonna run titanium belts. This is all going to get disassembled once we have other options available. There we go. Alright. So those are practical. We've got walls built here. So that should be enough. Pyrotite is looking good. Now we want 2 cryofluid mixers. So we're going to build 2 of those. Oh, right. I have no metaglass here. Okay. Metaglass needs lead and sand. Okay, so I'm gonna need way more lead than I expected. Okay. Alright, so I'm not able to build my differential power production just yet. Okay. That is a metric ton of lead. Okay. That is an output for every line. And then we also need sand production. So we're going to run an overflow line here with a titanium junction coming out, going up and around a little further. Okay. And the kilns take 36 power per second. That is kind of a problem. But at least we get some metaglass running. And we're basically going to have to output it. We're also going to need some copper production running. So let's get that set up. Okay. Sure. Alright, so let's leave that whole area for now. Okay. So here's the problem. I need my copper lines. Okay. We have very minuscule bits of copper. We're just going to have to let the lines run for a bit while a few basic resources get built. I am going to get thorium. That is going to happen. But we really just need some basic materials right now. So, what are we spawning? Okay. Immediately bad. Immediately bad. It is a flying unit. Okay, nope, don't build there. Okay. Problem. Very serious problem. We can build another pneumatic drill. We can finish that copper line. Okay. We need just another few units, and we can build another pneumatic drill. Good. Power production is okay for now. But we really just need more copper. Okay. We also don't have the metaglass production facility ready. Okay, what is the kiln waiting on? The kiln is waiting on a lot of copper. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Is it going to be another batch of flying units? Because that's going to be a problem. We're going to need way more copper. Okay. It's another flying unit. That is an issue. Oh my god, stop building. Stop building! Damn it. Okay. Okay. That's a problem. That is a big problem. I need to build a bunch of scatters, and my scatter schematic needs a very significant amount of copper. Okay, drill. That's fine. Go this way. Okay. That's fine. I need so much copper. It has been a long time since my primary issue was being copper starved. Alright. Let's start back here, where we can at least make sure that there's copper on the line, so that when we are able to finish this, it will at least take a while to get there. Okay. More flying units. That's real great. Come on. That's fine. No, stop trying to build those facilities, please. Come on. I expanded way too quickly when I absolutely did not have the materials necessary for it. And currently I'm running negative power too. This is not going well. Okay. Alright. Copper line is set. The next thing we want to do is repair the power production. Oh boy. Yeah, this is not good. Okay. Come on. I need this kiln done. Okay. Good. 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 We are running metaglass production. That is good. I'm going to need that for running fluids. Okay. If we can get the differential generator up and running, we will be pretty set. The main problem is that I am fighting off hordes of air units. And I do not have the capacity to deal with them effectively. Okay. 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 We're going to have to build our scatters here. Scatters can use lead or scrap. The closest lead is here. And it is not particularly efficient. Alright. There we go. Run it into here. Cool. Yeah, let's make sure we're getting stuff on the line. Alright, at least we can get lead on the line. So that's good. We need to prioritize this over metaglass. Okay. Metaglass, we just need some metaglass in order to finish up the pumping systems. Come on. Alright, here's the next round of enemies. That's fine. Alright, we got it. They broke a lot of stuff. Please, for the love of God, get that metaglass in. I need my differential generators up and running. Also, get that node built. Okay, the node is good. Next priority is getting the air defenses up and running. We need to make sure we're generating cryofluid so I can run the differential generators so I actually have enough power to start mining thorium. This is the first area I've been to that has the ability to access thorium, and I really kind of need it. And thorium is stronger with water. Okay. We actually have guns. We have working anti-aircraft guns now. Good. Good. I have this set. Yeah, it's fine. We're gonna be fine. And just in case ground units spawn as well, I do have a couple salvos set up. And we now have enough material to run the conduits. So we're going to have one conduit running into this one. We're going to have this run into a router. Okay. Good. Okay. That Wait, no, not this, not this. No, 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 no. What I needed to run into here was lead. Right. Okay. Why is the lead line not going anywhere? Because this is a kiln. The kiln doesn't have any power. Here is a bit of lead. Okay. I just need some lead. Like, just for the love of God, get some lead into this thing. Alright, the enemies were already taken out. That's good. So this is going to be producing cryo fluid, which is good. So the cryo fluid I want running over here into a differential generator, which is going to have a power node connected to it. Good. That is water. Here comes the lead for the cryo fluid. Get the generator moving. I need to get power. Okay. Good. It's not working. Okay, no. I have that wrong. It needs titanium for its input, not lead. Okay, that's fine. I can get titanium. There we go. Just build all of that. Build this. Go under here. Go there. Run a router. Router can go there. Okay. That is titanium. And then we can build 2 more mechanical pumps and a conduit leading into here. This now has cryo fluid. Cryo fluid can output to well, first of all, I need these things powered. So that's one issue. Really wish I could move this thing after having built it. Okay, that's fine though. That's fine. We'll just run a router here with titanium conveyor going to... No, that won't work. We don't want to build anything else near this, so we're going to go down and around and up and over. And then we have a conduit here. Okay. Alright. So this is not getting any cryo fluid put through. So I think we need to do it like this. Okay. So this thing is not outputting because it doesn't have enough power. because it is not connected to the power system, because I don't have a power node that I need. Okay. Now we have what we need. Okay. Alright, the differential generators are up and running. And we want to run like that. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Fine. Then run here, and then across, and then up. There. Do you understand? Output already. Okay, they output. That is good. Okay. So they took out one of my scatters. And I'm also going to need a Mind projector and possibly a wave. How much does a wave need for water? No idea, but we could just run a couple pumps into it. Just in case fire breaks out. And then we can run large power nodes. There we go. Where the hell on the map am I? Whatever, just keep building up here. It's going to be fine. We just need to connect. That's all going to be fine. Good. Okay. Power generation is online. That's going to provide a healing source. That's going to provide the ability to put out any fires that might break out. I still desperately need to increase my copper production. Like, my copper production is absolute trash. Okay. Good. And then we can make even more copper out here. Eventually we can upgrade this entire production line to titanium. And then we'll be raking in copper at a rate we won't even know how to handle. Very good. We can actually quickly build another couple of copper sources right on that track. Perfect. Very good, very good. Alright, how is the situation down here? Okay. situation is pretty decent. Going to build a second scatter pattern. We're also going to run a router. There we go. Laser drills are going to take some copper, so one of the next things we want to focus on getting is actually starting on the thorium production. But first things first, we focus on the defenses. We should be getting the extra copper line running into the core here. Yep, okay. So we got the extra copper line. That is 2 more scatters that are ready to roll. This is not my proudest level. Yep, just slowly build that. You know what? Screw that for a second. I think a good idea here is an overflow gate. But obviously the biggest problem right now is this freaking copper line. This copper line has to change. I need way more copper, way more quickly. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Finish the line. Good. There we go. Look at that. Now we have copper production. Good. Oh yeah, look at those numbers go up. They took out my thing, which I don't want them to do. Build a thing there. Okay, it's powered by that node. We'll have a backup node as well. That's fine. We actually got copper production. Good. We have lead, and we're going to run an overflow line. Okay. Cool. There. Now we have a bunch of extra lead production as well. And we can get our first laser drills. And we'll just have them output onto the copper line. So we can truly generate ridiculous amounts of copper. Just put a big thing there. Alright. And now I think it is time to start collecting thorium for the first time. So it looks like the biggest areas of thorium are here. So we're going to have a drill here, a drill here, a drill here, a drill here. Now we do want to run water to cool them at 4.8 a second. So we're basically going to need a mechanical pump for each one. In order to keep up the production appropriately. And these will run into a liquid container, which will run into a pair of routers. Okay. Very good. And you go there, you go there, you go there. That will be a sufficient supply of water. Build a few power nodes just to keep them going. And then we are absolutely going to want to run titanium output lines. Okay. Let's get this stuff built. Make sure the pumps are running. We now have thorium. Okay. So first things first, build this. And then we build the conduit over it. Okay, good. Okay. No. The auto builder kind of sucks for stuff like this, if I'm being honest. Holding down control to build these does not work well. But we absolutely want to make sure that we get all of our thorium cross over here, go up, go over, go up, feed into like the back line of this core. Okay, that's fine. Boom. Yep, get that thorium rolling. Nope, come on, come on. Get those built. We also have containers set on the core foundation. Alright, is thorium making it through the system? If thorium is making it through the system, we should see the thorium shortly. We also kind of have this extra lead line that we never ended up doing anything with, so honestly, let's just get rid of it. There we go. That's fine. Let's build 3 big batteries. Okay, thorium is being built. We're not generating any graphite, but our other supplies are starting to increase. So I think we are okay. Now, I don't actually trust it not to start spawning ground units. So, just in case... Yep, run it over. There we go. It spawned ground units. You sneaky jerks. Okay. So we're all part of the same network. That is good. And now that we have all of the power systems in place, we can build some electrical systems to increase our defenses here. Very good. Just in case of something unforeseen, we are going to reinforce the barrier walls for filtration. We're going to run a couple illuminators just for the hell of it. Okay. Yep, reinforce the border wall. Build another scatter system here with another router going into it. Very good. Okay. So we are already up to over 1,800 thorium. So what sort of stuff is unlocked with thorium? There is a lot of stuff unlocked with thorium. Tsunami launches powerful streams of liquid at enemies. The fuse fires 3 close-range piercing bullets at enemies. Thorium walls, which we can actually just grab, and then large thorium walls. Thorium reactor. Generates significant amounts of power from thorium, requires constant cooling. Will explode violently if insufficient amounts of coolant are supplied. Jeez. A logic processor. A surge smelter. Fuses titanium, lead, silicone, and copper into surge alloy. That's interesting. That sounds like yet another new thing. The core nucleus. Okay. So we have a whole nother set of base. We can get the multiplicative reconstructor to upgrade units to their 3rd tier. There is a lot that we are able to get. And yes, there is more stuff that is going to be unlocked by getting Surge Alloy. So the first thing we're going to do is save up the 2.2 thousand thorium to access the Surge Smelter. And get one of those built. Alright, so what's spawning in this time? Okay. Oh, you are screwed. That actually really is an alarming number of things. We are going to build even more scatters. Come on, get them built. If they're able to get past the first line, I don't want them getting past the second. And let's get 2 laser drills going, along with a liquid router that goes here into a liquid router into the laser drills, which are going to output to a distributor, which is going to run into these. And then we're also going to need power nodes. Alright, cool. And that will definitely not be enough mechanical pumps for everything. So let's get a few more running. Very good. Ah. Helps if I run the titanium. There we go. Now they're all able to output appropriately. We are very close to the 2200 to be able to produce surge alloy. We have hit the threshold. Surge smelter. Okay. So, how does this coal centrifuge work? Oh, transforms oil into coal. That's right. What's the pulverizer do? Okay, turns scrap into sand. Okay, surge smelter fuses copper, lead, titanium, and silicone. Okay, that is a lot of things that it needs. Okay. We can get titanium. Hold on. I have an idea. Copper, lead, titanium, silicone. Okay. The separator outputs copper, lead, graphite, titanium. So if we just filter out the graphite, it will produce the other raw materials from scrap. So then the only other thing that we need to run is silicone. I can build another silicone production facility. So there's a big scrap area here. So we can run a couple of laser drills. Yeah, we can run a couple of laser drills. I don't feel that I'm particularly pressed to have to watch the next set of invasions. We're going to run a router off of that. And then the router will output into the melter, and then the melter outputs in 3 directions to the separators. Okay. And then the separators are going to output to the surge smelter, which is itself going to have an output line okay, leading over here, and we'll just have you feed into the top with the surge alloy. Okay. And then we need a bunch of power over here. So a bunch of power nodes connecting there. And then the last thing we're going to need is silicon, which requires coal. Which is always kind of annoying to find. I would prefer not to have to immediately go all the way into cultivator spore press. I may not have a choice, though. Okay. Alright, that's fine. We're going to run some spore presses. Okay, so the spore presses require a lot of water. So we're just going to build a crap load of pumps. Easier to go up from the bottom. That's fine. Go like this, go like this, go like this. Lead to a liquid container, which outputs here and here and here and here. So all of these are going to be outputting spores. And then the spore pods can go into the spore presses. So 1 spore pod, 3 per second. So the cultivator's default rate is 0.6 per second, but I have multiplied that, so they're doing more than 1 a second. Okay. So we can run into a distributor running into 3 spore presses, which turn all this into oil. And then the oil can go into the coal centrifuge, which outputs coal. Why am I trying to make coal? It's for silicone. Oh my god. I'm doing all of this just to make more silicone production. Okay. So you go into here, and then you output here, and you output here. And this is running a coal line. And then we're going to run the coal line down this way. Oh my, this is an absolute mess. Luckily, we've still got a lot of waves to get through, and the enemies are not doing much. They cannot beat my defenses at this point. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Yep. Get the output line built. Okay. It says the laser drills are unpowered because I haven't linked them to the primary network. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Alright, so important thing. What we need to do is run an inverted sorter. Okay. Then an inverted sorter, and then an inverted sorter. So the first inverted sorter will filter out the graphite. And then the graphite will go here and here. The graphite can output onto the metaglass line. That's going to be fine. Okay. So the next one is going to filter the titanium and filter in here. The next one is going to filter the lead, and that's going to go here. And then the top one should be copper, I think. Maybe. Okay, the inverted sorter should be taking all the graphite and running it onto, like, another line, right? Okay. Okay. Alright, fine, fine, fine. Alright. We are going to get rid of this line right here. Okay. So first things first, we run into an inverted sorter. Inverted sorter checks for graphite. If it finds any graphite, it takes it out onto the line that feeds into the metaglass. Okay. If it's not that, then it runs into another inverted sorter. No, into... The sorter only lets... Yeah, if it matches the selection. And this is if it doesn't match the selection. Okay, so this one is going to be copper. So if it is not copper, it moves forward. If it is copper, it will move. I think something might have not wanted to behave when I ran multiple lines together. Okay, lead. If it is lead, it feeds into the sorter. Okay. All right. And then if it isn't, what are we still left with? Only titanium. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to see. So now it is getting everything except silicone. Okay. So these are not getting spore pods. These are not getting water. Why are those not getting water? Those are producing water. Those are producing water. There it is. Okay, we had a spill. Okay, now these are producing spore pods. So now that is producing coal. That's fine. Just leave it as is. Okay. So now we have an extra coal line. Cool. Alright, just get rid of all that. Run this down. And then run this over. Okay, the water came through. Good. Now we run the easy silicone schematic. Just like that. So we want to feed in the coal here. And then we can have 3 laser drills running sand into the top. Okay. And then we need to connect all this to the power supply, which should be fine. Okay. So all the silicone that's coming out, we're going to run it up here. And then we're going to run a line here and up and over. And oh boy, this is going to be a nightmare. Okay. We go around those. I think that might work. Possibly. I swear, I almost know what I'm doing. I swear. Okay, alright, it's all feeding in. So, in theory, silicone is going to run only into the surge smelter. No. Okay. I was worried about that. It is putting scrap on the line. Okay. To be honest, I think for the first time, I want to run an incinerator. We're going to destroy that line. And we're going to run an inverted sorter. Okay, that's fine. So scrap is going to get off put to the side and burned. Okay. Good. So we do have silicone making it through, which means we are now putting out surge ore. We kind of need more. Okay, I do have one more area for a centrifuge here. If I run another liquid router here and then up into this. Okay. So that should let me increase my coal production, hence increase my silicone production. Why are you frozen? You're not getting... Oh, dear God. Okay, okay. So this time it's an overflow issue. So if you have an overflow issue, or if you have an overflow issue, or if you have an overflow issue... Okay. So if you have an overflow issue, then you are going to output here and go into the incinerator. Got it? Good. If you have an overflow issue, you are going to output here, go over a junction, and head into the incinerator. And finally, if you have an overflow issue, you are going to go and output into the incinerator. Okay. It is outputting surge. And all this extra crap is being appropriately eliminated. Now, what do we unlock for this? Are you kidding me? 12,000 surge alloy. There's no way in hell that's happening anytime soon. Charges and fires a persistent beam at nearby enemies. Requires coolant to operate. Surge walls protect structures from enemy projectiles, periodically releasing electric arcs on contact. Thorium reactors are probably what I may want to look at next. What else have I unlocked? Well, there's the multiplicative reconstructors. Alright, the important thing is that I have, like, clear vision of new stuff. Is this the only way to generate, like, surge alloy? I mean, I know it's kind of a mess there, but that's... You know what would help with that? a wave. So let's put down some pops. There we go. If you wouldn't mind, please put out fire in the future. The salvo lines seem to be holding well enough. The next big thing to research is plastanium. I wouldn't have the slightest clue where to get that. Plastanium and phase fabric seem to be the real big ones. Alright, if I can research multiplicative reconstructors. I don't fully understand how some of the stuff in this game works as far as levels go, as far as like what it actually takes to unlock levels. Okay, that surprises me that they try to go this way. Let's just build a large titanium wall. So, what I mean by that is, earlier, I actually had one of my already captured sectors get attacked again. And I wasn't surprised because this has been mentioned in chat before when I've streamed this. What I don't know is the condition for one of my sectors being attacked. I don't know if it's only updating things when I capture a sector, in which case I could basically just sit here indefinitely letting resources build, or if it could potentially be time-based. Like, if I just sat here for hours on an already captured sector, it might actually trigger another invasion. I don't fully understand the mechanics of that. And that is probably something I should actually stop and research after I'm done here. But the important thing is that I am getting the thorium that I need for my research. So, honestly, a thorium reactor does sound pretty appealing. The multiplicative reconstructor would unlock a lot of stuff I could fill out, but I highly doubt I can use basically any of it right now. We'll see, we'll see. The important thing is that I've gotten 2 new basic resources and unlocked more stuff. Oh. We have 0 titanium. Do I not have any titanium production going into my core? Seriously? None? That is deeply surprising to me. Okay. Well, we can get at least some feeding into there. I can have you guys feed onto the, yeah, I can have you feed onto the, lead line. That shouldn't be an issue. Come on, let's get those parts built first. Just teensy little bits of titanium. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. There we go. And one more laser drill here. There we go. Little bit of titanium. I know I'm definitely generating lead, and I definitely solved my copper problems. This is a crazy big scrap field, you know? It looks like everything is going okay. Okay. So what I want to do is have an overflow gate here. So any of our excess silicone production can be off-put. There we go. Because it's just more valuable to me than anything else that we're producing here. And is the surge smelter... No, this... I'm gonna be honest, this seems like a real crappy piece of equipment. Just the amount of effort it takes to input into it. Even if you can get, you know, 3 of the 4 things you need just running separators, it just really doesn't seem worth the effort to me. We're over 5.8K. So I can get thorium reactors. Ooh, look at this. Impact reactors. Creates massive amounts of power at peak efficiency. Requires a significant power import to kickstart the process. So what does it take to get a thorium reactor running? It requires a crapload of cryofluid. It is quite expensive to build. And getting cryofluid production going... So, it's not as good as the differential reactor, but it doesn't need pyrite, which already eliminates a big part of production that I have to do now. Thorium reactors might be something I would build. I'd also probably want to put them somewhere safe and out of the way in case there's any issues and its coolant is ever cut off. But 24 units of cryofluid per second, so you would have to have two dedicated cryofluid mixers running into it. But all the cryofluids need is titanium and water, so that's not a problem. So thorium reactors might just be like a thing that I start using more regularly. But I think that's enough. Let's just go ahead and start running through these more quickly. Very nice. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, you guys aren't going to last very long. Well, that was fun. Moving on. And here comes the air fleet. And there's the ground forces taken care of. Moving on. You guys really don't get it, do you? You can't beat me. Oh. Actually, these things are, yeah. Okay. We need extra copper production. Cool. Can we get any extra copper into it from anywhere? I can build one more pneumatic here. There we go. It's not completely ideal, but it's enough to make sure we have a backlog on ammunition ready to go. And I'm sure air units will become more of a problem later, but for the time being, scatter junctions are just absolutely melting anything the enemy throws at me in the air. Alright, let's do it. There we go. Okay. Sector 85 has been captured. Surge Alloy and Thorium research have been unlocked. I have my first facility that is able to produce Thorium, first to produce Surge Alloy, and the Frozen Forest section of the map now also has its own dedicated metaglass production as well. This is an absolute mess. Like, just look at this. This is an absolute mess. I need to do better. I need to do a lot better than this. But first thing is first, I need to redo my research. I need to find out if... there we go. I need to find out if it is safe to just idle on an area to build up resources, or if that's basically going to guarantee that I just get attacked and lose stuff. So I'm going to look into that, and the next time I stream this, I will try to do a stage where I focus a lot more on unit use as opposed to just static defenses, just to give, you know, a nice change of pace. But if it is possible for me to just idle, then I will probably end up letting this run literally the entire night just to keep building up my Surge Alloy. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.